Welcome to the Just Happy to Be Here podcast. It's me, Tanner, and as always, I am just happy to be here. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. And if I may, this is my fourth time recording the intro, and it hasn't gotten any better. I've messed up several times. So you know what? I'm going to skip the intro. Well, this is the intro, but I'm going to skip talking, and we're just going to get straight into episode 52 of the Just Happy to Be Here podcast.
Yeah, it's a big yep.
It's a big yep.
Big old yep.
Speaking of a big old yep, yesterday, this actually has nothing to do with that, but yesterday
Nice.
Sarah and I were driving down a busy street in our neighborhood. We had just picked up some Chick-fil-A, which we'll talk about again later on in the podcast. Not a sponsor.
That's what you call foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. This teaser is a foreshadow. We're driving down the road. We just had some friends who had a baby girl about a little over a week ago, so we were bringing them some Chick-fil-A. And
Nice.
We stop at a stoplight, and I look to my left, and in the middle of the road is a car door. Just
a door?
Just a door to a car.
What?
Like it was as if somebody had opened up their car door, and when they opened it, it fell off. Which, not a great door. Not a good door. But
Can you imagine?
It's very random.
Well, can you imagine the whatever day you were just having up to that point is done?
Yes.
Like, good or bad, this is. I mean, if it's bad, it's obviously just getting worse. But like in the weirdest and one of the most expensive possible ways.
Mm-hmm. And they just left it there. Like the doors, it wasn't like, we should get that. No, just we're going to leave it behind. Like, what are we going to do with that now? It's broken. It's just on the ground.
I'm not carrying a car door with me everywhere I go for the rest of the day. I'm not hauling this into Walmart.
Now, that wasn't the weirdest thing that I've ever seen while driving. One time I was driving, and I saw a tire come off of a car while it was moving.
What?
While it was driving, it went from 4 tires down to 3. It's math, -1.
Wow.
And it was bizarre because the car just had no choice but to stop.
Yeah.
And the tire just kept rolling forward, into traffic. And
That's...
What? Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't know it was possible. I didn't know that it was possible for a tire to come off of a car like that.
Yeah,
in my
just
mind, I guess
leave.
they had just driven backwards for way too long and it got loose. Because that's why you just a toy car,
Right.
you just twist a tire on and then there it is.
And that's what happens.
But anyways, we're not talking about cars today because if I know you like I think I do, you also know nothing about cars.
I know my car has good gas mileage, and also the weirdest thing I've ever seen was a toilet in the street. That's all I really know, though. And that was actually next to an old favorite haunt of ours. It was right next to Red Horn. It was right at that intersection.
I remember
Red
that.
Horn Coffee House.
I remember that. That was, well, there you go. Right after you have your coffee. You never know when it's going to hit. Taylor, today is May 13th. It's Thursday, May 13th. You're listening to this not on May 13th.
Yeah, that's right.
But today, there are 4 things that are being celebrated, and we can decide if we are going to celebrate them or not. Mm-hmm. The first one is National Crouton Day. Happy National Crouton Day.
Man.
Which I will say is probably one of the reasons why you get a salad.
Yeah.
I eat
Absolutely.
salad so that I can eat everything that's not the lettuce.
Yeah. No, exactly. This day could also be just happy 1/16th of a hardened garlic bread stick.
And I'm okay with that.
I'm great with that.
All right. The best bite of the salad, there's a couple of good bites, but the best bite of the salad is when you get down to the end and there's a little bit of cheese, a little bit of ranch, and a crouton, and that's your bite. Fantastic. One time while working at camp, we had a salad bar at the camp that I worked at. And I had a camper who, for the 5 days that he was there, every day he would say, he would ask if he can go get a salad. Of course, man. I want to encourage healthy eating habits. And all he would get a bowl, and he would fill it up with croutons and cover it in ranch. And I never once said anything to him, because in my mind, I was like, that's fair. Like you're at camp. You made a solid choice. You're eating as a camp counselor. First of all, you're not their parent. You just want these kids to be like to have food in their system throughout the week.
Yep.
This is what that kid was doing. And then my co-counselor, who was a female, she was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm having a salad." She looked at me like, you weren't going to say anything about this? No, like, this kid's brilliant. Like, I'm thinking about doing the same thing. It was such a good idea.
Absolutely.
So, happy National Crouton Day. Although,
man.
Can I tell you what I've been doing recently on salads?
Talk to me.
I'll talk to you for sure about salads.
Do it.
Because, as we've mentioned on the podcast, about, the last 5 weeks, we are over the age of 30.
Sure are.
And when you turn 30, you really got to start watching what you put in your body. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk more about what we're putting into our bodies later. But instead of putting croutons on a salad, I'll put potato chips, which just it's a healthier substitute, possibly. But I want the crunch. My favorite part about the salad is the crunch, not the crunch that I get from the lettuce, but the crunch that I get from the toppings.
Yes.
I want to have some crunchy toppings on my salad.
Yes.
Anyways,
absolutely. It's at least a lateral move from the crouton. It's definite. It's not. It can't be any worse.
Yeah. Well, in Pittsburgh, I've never been to Pittsburgh, but I have had a Pittsburgh salad, which is where they put French fries on the salad.
What?
Which I'm not upset about it.
No.
You know what I don't get when people put Jell-O on a salad.
Yeah. Well, because that's a big thing. I was about to ask. This is when you were the story of the kid at the camp. This is in Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're working with Midwestern salad rules, and for those listening,
throw them out the window. Everything's a salad.
Oh, absolutely. There are no rules. The one rule of Midwestern salads is that there are no rules. And if you're not from the Midwest and you're listening to this, I don't know if there's a great way, an amazing way to explain just how few rules there are for Midwestern salads. I once had a thing in the Midwest that someone told me was a salad, and the contents in front of me were whipped cream, chopped up cookies, and pears.
Okay.
And they said that here's cookie salad. Here's a cookie salad. I was like, I think you don't know what that word means.
Also, Deb, why are you putting pears in this salad? Just keep it.
What is going on?
Keep it as cookies and fluff here. That's all we really want.
Absolutely.
But you put the pears and be like, it's healthy. No, it's not. That doesn't make it healthy. Just because you add fruit to something does not mean it's healthy. Right?
And you know those pears were just, until they ended up in this salad, soaked in corn syrup. You know that was the case.
There's no healthy part of that pear. No, that pear has been changed over 1,200 different times before it made it into the fluff of the new salad.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, today is also National Frog Jumping Day.
Yeah, good call. We needed to move on.
we really needed to have this as a day. We're skipping over this. That's terrible. Frog Jumping Day. We don't need that.
We're just gonna leapfrog that right now. We're just gonna
that's what I was thinking.
That.
It's not even leapfrog day. It's
frog, you're right.
It's what are you, jumping over a frog?
I'm looking at that now. Yeah.
I don't. Maybe it is. Or maybe it's like jumping like a frog day. But I don't think I'm jumping over anything.
Yeah. Is it also? Could it possibly be celebrating
that frogs jump?
Just that frogs jump, like literally their only mode of transportation, just their normal everyday routine. Is that what we're celebrating?
Okay. Well, I just Googled this because I had to.
Yep.
It says, while the name itself may seem rather vague, I think we've established that, its origins come from Mark Twain's first published short story about a betting man and his pet frog. All right.
Like a man who bets on stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that didn't clear up anything at all.
Yeah. Anyways,
Wow.
we can't spend any more time on this.
Nah.
It's also National Apple Pie Day, which I'm all about.
Yes.
I'm all about. A good
Absolutely.
old, if somebody says, "Do you want apple pie?" I'm not saying no. Not saying no. It is not a pie I say no to. Now, there aren't many pies that I do say no to, but I'm saying yes to this apple pie.
Absolutely. Well, because especially in this scenario, like, first off, apple pies are pies that I feel very comfortable dropping some money on. But in your scenario, someone is offering you free apple pie. What are you doing? Why are you lingering on that decision at all for more than a split second?
I would totally agree with you. Something that I think I haven't appreciated in my years of living is when you go to an establishment and they, at the end of the meal, one of the things they offer you is pie.
Oh yeah.
For so long I've been like, I don't want pie. I think as I get older, I'm going to start wanting more pie.
Yep.
Now that's the hard-hitting stuff that people come to this podcast for. I'm very aware.
Exactly right.
Anyways, we're big fans of apple pie.
Rocking up against that edge, the edginess.
Is it a super edgy podcast where these guys are discussing apple pie and how are we jumping over frogs or are we jumping like frogs? Who's to say?
Yeah.
Is there a pie? Welcome to the Pie Podcast.
Welcome.
Welcome to the Pie Podcast. Is there a pie that you say no to?
That's a good question. Is there a pie that I say no to? Oof.
I'm thinking through it.
Yeah.
I don't think that there is.
There's not one just jumping out at me right now. Man, I don't think so. I really like pie. I'm a big pie fan. I should say, of flavors that we all know are acceptable pie flavors.
Yes.
With that, not if somebody's thinking
pie, right?
Yeah, right. If somebody's thinking right now of some odd, like, you didn't talk about eyeball pie. It's like, well, okay. Yeah, there's some rules established here. This isn't the Midwest. I'm in the Midwest, but that's not the point.
Now, I will say this, though. Today, and this is the last national thing that we're talking about.
Yeah.
PTL, praise the Lord, as our mothers would say. Today's also National Fruit Cocktail Day. Now, we looked this up before, and we're not talking about fruit salad. Different kind of ball game here. We're talking about the thing that comes in the can, right? The soaked fruit of peaches, pears, pineapple, grapes, and cherry halves.
Yeah.
Now, I think if there is a fruit cocktail pie, I might have to say no thank you.
Yeah.
Because
I think you're right.
The fruit cocktail, not good.
No.
Del Monte, I don't know what you're doing, but that's not good.
No.
No. But here's the thing. All these things by themselves. And if you were to take peaches, pears, pineapple, grapes, and cherries, make it yourself, put it into a bowl, I would probably like that.
Yes, definitely.
But when it comes in that can, it's not for me.
No. Well, and we touched in on this a little bit when in our salad tirade, our salad segment. Welcome to the podcast, JHTBH. But there's something that happens when it's just soaking in the juice or the fruit syrup or whatever, and the chemical composition changes, like down to the molecular level. Specifically, and I think honestly, if you do all of those things except for the cherry halves, I think I could stand it a little bit better. It's a weird mixture, but I think if you get rid of that almost maraschino-esque cherry, I'm good. But that thing is the fruit equivalent of a pickle, and I like pickles. But you start getting fresh with pickles, just like you start getting fresh with maraschino cherries. I'm not having it. I can't do it.
I'm out. I send it back. I send it back.
I sent it back immediately.
I send it back. I think we've covered it. I think we've established.
Yeah.
It's interesting, and I think I mentioned this a couple of episodes ago, or maybe last episode. I'm not like a very strongly opinionated person. At least I don't think so. But then when we start doing this podcast, I let it fly.
Oh yeah.
I am anti fruit cocktail. You put a fruit cocktail on me, I send it back. I'm not having it. Get it out of here. Why would you even offer me this? Now, I'll be honest. If somebody had me over to their house and they offered me a fruit cocktail, I wouldn't say a single word. I would just eat it.
Yep.
I would talk about it later, but wouldn't we all? But wouldn't we all? Last episode, Taylor, we talked about the things we mentioned that we were going to talk about what we are consuming. Now, good friend Ted Daring, he and I often would talk about this on Ted and Tanner Do a Podcast.
Yes.
But I'm bringing it here. So Ted, if you're listening, thanks for the segment. I appreciate it. I love it. Taylor and I are going to discuss what we're watching and what we're eating. Again, it's the hard-hitting stuff. I don't know. Give us a little something to talk about. Clearly, none of us are having fruit cocktail. So. No. Yeah. Taylor, what are you consuming?
So, I'll tell you this. Not fruit cocktail.
That's so bad. It's
so bad.
Yeah, I can remember as a kid, and my mom's listening to this. I know she is. We would have fruit cocktail. And I didn't, as a kid, didn't think anything of it. Wasn't bad.
Yep.
And then as I got older, I was like, I just don't, it's just not for me.
Yeah.
But I think fruit cocktail is great. Is a great introduction for kids. Hey, this is kind of what fruit tastes like. I know you think it's like a vegetable. It's not. It's like candy that grows on trees, and it's healthy for you, like everything, in moderation. Just like a salad full of croutons, ranch, and cheese. That's fine. So, to my mother.
It's so true.
I loved having the fruit cocktail as a kid. I loved it. There's nothing wrong with the fruit cocktail that we had as children. But now as I'm an adult, well, I'm all about that fresh fruit. Anyways, Taylor, I interrupted you for about the fourth time on this episode. Not the last.
No, not at all. And I will do plenty of it myself. But so let's get into eating first. I already said what I'm not eating. That's been very clear. But this is a little bit of a cheat because my wife and I haven't started this yet. But we are starting Every Plate, which is kind of like a meal delivery service, like your Home Freshes and your what's that Hello Freshes. I mixed two of them up. It's Home Chef and Hello Fresh. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But if any of them are listening, wow, thank you so much. We'd love to have you as a sponsor. But we're trying Every Plate.
You can go to everyplate.org and use the checkout code to get 20% off. Type in fruit cocktail is gross. Get 20% off.
Yes, absolutely. All of that is absolutely true and not misleading whatsoever. So we're trying Every Plate because that seems to be an more affordable option among those. And just with busy life, it's nice to have that stuff just sent to your door. We're going to give it a shot. And then what I'm watching with my wife, and rather for this one, rewatching the show Lost. Have you ever seen Lost, Tanner?
Have I seen Lost? Have I?
Hey,
Taylor.
I don't want to make any assumptions.
Taylor, I am a TV guy. I have seen Lost. I got into Lost later on. So after it was all, I probably watched it in like 2017.
Oh yeah.
So it'd been out for a while, and I can remember when it was super popular. I don't know, like back in like 2007. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep. And I remember I told somebody, I was like, nah, I'm not going to watch Lost. I'm saving that for retirement. Like, I don't know why I thought that was what I was going to do. And so when I was watching it in 2017, I was like, man, you really just gave in that easily. And man, I'll tell you what, man, when you start a show like that, it's hard to get anything else done.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm a in the same way that I'm a fantastic television watcher, that makes me a terrible TV watcher. Because I'm just going to blow through this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm going to stay up till 2 a.m. I need to get through, 7 episodes today if I'm going to finish this show in a month.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Well, and that is a perfect segue into how I first watched the show Lost, Tanner. So wind the clock back with me for a second. The year is 2010. Hulu is free as long as you're willing to sit through 27.9 billion commercials.
Yes.
And Lost is on there. It's in its last season, season 6. It's coming to a close. It's about midway through that last season. I am talking with some friends from high school, and we are, freshly graduated inside of a year and a half of having graduated, and inside of even a year maybe. But I'm working a weird job with weird hours. I'm seeing nobody. Mm-hmm. I have all this time on my hands, and we're trying to finish Lost before the show ends. And so I'm like, okay, here we go. We're midway through the last season. Let's do this. Let's blow through this. And so it ends up turning into an impromptu competition where my first buddy got through it in 16 days. My second buddy got through it in 14 days. And then I got through it in 12 days, Tanner.
Champion. Just sitting there. Just sitting there with one of those big old 64-ounce cans of fruit cocktail and just powering through episode after episode. You can't stop me. The maraschino cherries can't even stop me.
Can't even do it. Oh, man.
What a fantastic show.
It is a crazy, crazy show. It's fun to rewatch and at like a normal person's pace.
I
feel like this is just like maybe one episode every other night versus 10 episodes a day. I don't know, because it was like this show was like back when they were making, well, maybe they still are, I just don't know about any of them, but where it was like 24 episodes to a season, and each of those episodes are an hour long.
Yep.
And so like you have to be committed, and I was, and I had no friends. So
no, you did, but they were just lost on an island. Or were they?
Or were they? And not to spoil a show that is very old. But
not to spoil a show that's been spoiled by anyone who's ever done a podcast.
Anyone.
It is a fantastic watch, though, and you kind of appreciate it. You look back and you're like, oh, that was like a big turn in television too. It was like this out of the box TV show,
right?
And has your wife seen it? Are you watching it with her? Has she seen it before?
She had seen it before. Yeah, we are both rewatching it. Oh yeah. Good. Tanner, I married a woman of taste. Okay, but
so did
Tanner,
I, and we'll get to that.
Yes,
we'll get to that.
Oh boy, will we?
Speaking of taste, though.
Yeah. What are you consuming?
Well,
I'm going to ask a question.
Yeah. You got what's your question?
You must have not heard me. Tanner, what are you consuming?
Fruit cocktails.
Only
y'all are going the healthy route, having every plate.
Trying.
I cannot help myself, Taylor. I like to do the grocery shopping. So every like Friday afternoon, so maybe Saturday morning, I'll go to Costco and then I'll go to Publix. This is where I'm at. They're right next to each other where we live. It's a great little combination, little 1-2 punch. Maybe I'll get some gas in there. There's a shortage, so I might get some as soon as possible. I go to Publix, and the candy aisle also happens to be on the aisle with like ethnic type foods, right?
Yeah.
So I'll get some stuff there, but I have to keep walking because it's an aisle, and I'm not going to turn around halfway down an aisle. I'm going to do the whole thing. I'm getting my steps in, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
At the very end of this aisle is the candy aisle. It's the candy portion of the store. Mm-hmm. Now, if you ever go into a grocery store, you know that candy is like just scattered throughout the entire place. They want you to buy it. Like that's what like people, they bring you into a grocery store like a mousetrap. They're like, you got to buy some candy. And I always do. I can't help it. I've given in.
Yes.
Recently, I have been buying a bag of Nerds Big Chew. So think about a nerd, but supersize it, right?
What?
It's like a Skittle-sized nerd. It's chewy. It's delicious.
What
It
in
is.
the world?
It's so good. I probably have mentioned this on the podcast before. It's my favorite candy. It has gone straight. It has gone straight to the top.
Oh,
Nothing
my
can
word.
compete with it. However, recently, they haven't had it, Taylor. And so I've been left to buy cans of fruit cocktail. And I am just kidding. Never do that. But I bought Airheads last week. And I'll tell you what. There ain't nothing wrong with an Airhead.
No.
Because after I'm done eating my crouton salad, I need something sweet. There's something about me that's like after every meal I have, I'm like, well, I should probably have something sweet. Yeah. And it's terrible. It is. I understand why older folks carry around hard candies in their pockets. After I had a meal, I need a little something. And I get that.
Something.
I get that.
That's why they offer pie at the end of meals, too, at Perkins.
Yeah. God bless Perkins. And what we've been watching in the household recently is Sarah picked it out. She's very smart. Very smart. And we're getting even smarter because we've been watching Jeopardy. It's on Netflix right now.
Oh,
and we just crushed a season. I'll tell you what, man. Like, I'm learning a lot of things. Nothing that I can recall off the top of my head. But it's always fun to watch an episode and be like, I finally got a question right. You know?
Nice.
Or
yes.
my favorite is when you have these just brilliant minds. And they know everything about science. They know everything about Russian literature. They know things about the opera. They can tell you about things that happened in the 1700s. But when they get to modern day sports,
it's hilarious.
Don't have a clue. And it's my time to shine. I am sitting there and I am rattling things off as if I am the smartest man in the world. And then they go and ask something like, what's the largest continent? I don't have a clue. But I can tell you right now that in 2017, Russell Westbrook was leading the NBA in triple doubles. I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else? Not a clue. So anyways, Jeopardy is my time to feel incredibly prideful and incredibly stupid. All within 20 minutes. And it's on Netflix, so it's like the episodes go by so fast.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
So, I love it.
Whipping through like 20-minute episodes, right?
Yeah, we're binging it, man. We are just, our brains are essentially, our brains are fruit cocktail, and Jeopardy is the slime, and we are just a whole bunch of it's coming together all beautifully. And then after we watch Jeopardy, I will usually say to Sarah, hey, so do you want to watch another episode? And that's when she knows that I really want to watch NBA basketball. Yeah. So we're close to the playoffs, and don't worry, we're going to have NBA updates every episode. I'm kidding.
Yes.
We won't.
Yes, we will.
But we will. Oh, what have you recently been Googling? Or what has found your eyes on the internet?
Yeah. So, this is one where I don't actually know which is which. I think this one found me, and then I Googled it in response. So, this is actually, we were talking about spoilers earlier, but this is actually a little bit of a potential upcoming spoiler. So, if anybody wants to go into the new SpiderMan movie coming out this December, just totally fresh, maybe just, shut off your ears for a second. But I Googled this, Tanner. I said, are Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in the new Spider-Man movie? Because there's a lot of rumors right now swirling around this movie.
Old scuttlebutt.
And if you'll remember, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were the last two Spider-Men before the current guy, Tom Holland. Mm-hmm. And right now, listed on IMDb are a couple villains from the old Spider-Man movies. And so people are like, what is going on here? Are we going to see a little bit of a crossover? What's happening? Multiple Spider-Men on the screen? We'll just have to wait and see until December. So I have to sneak in some nerdiness sometimes. It's what it is.
I hope that Tobey Maguire returns as the guy from Seabiscuit instead of Spider-Man. Like during a big old battle, he just like rides
Yes.
through on the horse.
Absolutely. Wins the Kentucky Derby.
Do you have like a favorite person who has played Spider-Man?
Yeah, I have liked. I think I like the current Spider-Man, Tom Holland, the best. I mean, they're all good for the era in which they played Spider-Man and for what their movies had a very different feel.
Yeah.
And but like I have liked Andrew Garfield actually and Tom Holland the best. Because when it was Tobey Maguire, it was just like, this 35-year-old man is playing a high schooler. Got it. Okay.
Got it.
And so I just couldn't. Some of that was hard to get over, and some of it is just looking back now is pretty cheesy. But I mean, it was the era. It was like, let's just put a straight up comic book on the screen.
It fit the mood. I think the second Spider-Man movie was the first movie that I ever saw like opening day at a movie.
Oh dang! Like the one with Doc Ock.
I think yes.
Yeah.
And it was it could have been, but it was like we're gonna go do it, and I was okay. Here we are.
Okay, we're doing this. He's one of the villains that is looking like he's gonna be in this movie.
Interesting.
So, yeah,
well, it's gonna be. It has to be good because right now, like you aren't allowed to make a bad superhero movie, or you become exiled as a director. As writers, like it's just like you won't find another job ever again. Like good luck.
Yeah,
it's because it's so precious to so many people. Am I one of them? I don't know, perhaps. But you can't make a fruit cocktail movie and try to pass it off as apple pie.
No, you
can't do it.
You certainly cannot.
Cannot do it.
Tanner,
can't do it.
What have you been Googling? What did you Google recently? And what maybe found you on the internet?
Believe it or not, Taylor, I didn't Google a single thing this week. That's a lie.
Dang.
I did. But for today, I came across an article on Twitter.
Yep.
And it was about how there is a sauce shortage at Chick-fil-A. So not only are we experiencing a gas shortage, which that's a weird situation. I read a little bit about that, and I couldn't keep up. It was just, you kind of start reading the news, and you're like, well, this is what it is. All right. All right. Well, I didn't hack the system. But apparently, so now Chick-fil-A is limiting the number of sauces it's giving to its customers because of limited stock. So I don't know, I don't know what's causing this to happen. I don't know. Are we running out of the ingredients? Who knows? But so I guess you're getting limited now. So it's hard times. Hard times, man.
I will say this real quickly though. We found some Chick-fil-A sauce in the bottle at our local grocery store, Hy-Vee. So if you're listening and you live near a Hy-Vee, you might want to get to one real fast.
I think they're like all over now because we have it at Publix and Kroger.
Oh yeah.
And I've seen them in Walmart from time to time. They're all over.
Maybe that's why there's a shortage.
Possibly. They're filling up these big bottles. They also have Polynesian sauce as well.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my.
Do you have a favorite Chick-fil-A sauce?
Oh, it's Chick-fil-A sauce. No, hands down, no question, uncontended. There's a bottle in our fridge right now.
I really want to be cool and be like, dude, I love the sweet sriracha, which is fine. It's good sauce. But I always find myself being like, I want the mayonnaise-based thick stuff. Give me that. Give me it. Put it on anything. Put it on everything. I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
Right.
I do love it. I do.
It's so good, man.
I absolutely love it. It is the furthest thing from fruit cocktail.
Polar opposites. It's the opposite extreme.
I think one of the reasons why I am so adamant about finding something just to go to like bash on and tear down is I want someone to send us something where they're like, you're wrong. Like I want someone to respond, send us an email and be like, nah, fruit cocktail is the greatest thing that's ever happened in this world.
And then we'll rebut that on the next episode if that happens.
We'll have you on. We will have you on. We will tear you apart. It's our podcast.
We can do what we want. We're the ones with microphones. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. But I say all of that to remind people who are listening, if you want to send us anything, send us a message, writtentospeak@gmail.com. Send us questions that you have. Send us any feedback. Tell us why you love fruit cocktail or why you agree with us that fruit cocktail is not very good. Because, as we've harped on way too many times, it's not good. It's not good. It doesn't need its own national day. And neither does National Jump Frog or Frog Jumping Day. It doesn't need a national day.
No.
There are some things that definitely need a national day. Those are not them.
No.
Not them.
No.
Also, I'm also kind of surprised that like National Apple Pie Day isn't on like the 4th of July.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a...
Well, it's the classic phrase is it's as American as apple pie.
Yeah, I'm sure they eat apple pie in other countries too.
I'm sure they do.
And what do they say? Do they say the same thing? But like, this is as American as apple pie. What?
Yeah. Wait, what?
What?
Didn't even start in America. I actually have no clue. I have no clue where it.
All thanks to our friend Johnny Appleseed from several episodes ago.
Oh yes.
I think there was a Johnny Appleseed Day. Thanks
yes,
for that.
Yes, there was. Yep.
Well, I think we need to end the podcast here. Again, if you have any questions for us or you want to get in touch, send us an email to writtentospeak@gmail.com. You can follow along with all of our stuff. Find us on our social media channels. That'll be linked in the show notes. And if you haven't seen Lost yet, well, you better hop to it. If you can finish Lost in 12 days, we'll give you a prize.
Yes. Or less than 12 days, we will have you on. We will straight up have
if
you
you
on.
finish it in less than 12 days, we will send you so many cans of fruit cocktail.
And honestly, some water too, because you're definitely dehydrated.
Yeah, you're definitely going to want something else. On that note, Taylor, I'm just happy to be here.
Likewise, man. JHTBH.
JHTBH. All right, I'll talk to you soon.